Today we're going to learn a little bit about Adinkra cloth from the West African nation of Ghana. The development of Adinkra symbols dates back to prehistoric times. The Adinkra symbols that are used on Adinkra cloth have a special meaning. Each symbol, combined with the colors of the fabric, will convey a more unified, deeper meaning. Traditionally, the Adinkra cloth was worn by royalty or only used for funerals, since the word Adinkra means goodbye. But today, however, you can find Adinkra symbols everywhere, from fabric to household objects to metalwork and even in architecture. Today's project has many steps. You're going to first create your own Adinkra stamps. You're going to print them on paper, not fabric, and you're going to draw the grid lines that are traditional on Adinkra cloth. And then you're going to glue it all together to create your own wall hanging. So without further ado, let's get started. Before we begin, we're going to first read about the history and the meaning behind the Adinkra symbols that are used on Adinkra cloth in Ghana. And then we're going to click on this link that is here. This set of directions is linked in your Google Classrooms under your classwork directions. And once you click on this link, it will take you to a website that shows you a list of Adinkra symbols, the name of the symbol in Akan, and the different meanings and understandings behind the symbol. And then, of course, in your directions, the first thing you're going to do is plan your Adinkra banner. You're going to explore the many Adinkra symbols and their meanings at the link. Select 2 or 3 symbols that, when combined, produce a more complex idea or sentiment. And then you're also going to consider what color background paper you're going to print your symbol on, because the color of the paper is going to have even more meaning for your symbol. And before we begin the actual creation of the artwork, you are going to use the worksheet that is also linked in Google Classrooms, and you're going to match Adinkra symbols and their meanings on the worksheet. You're also going to practice drawing your symbols on the worksheet in the space provided. Then you're going to begin making your Adinkra stamps. Once you've completed the worksheet, you're going to get 2 or 3 of these foam pieces with an adhesive backing on it, and you're going to draw on this side your Adinkra symbol. We know from experience with previous printmaking projects that when you print something, it will print in reverse from what you have drawn here or what you have cut out. So to make sure that our stamp prints correctly, we're going to draw directly on the adhesive protective paper on the back of this foam piece, so that when we cut it out and use it, it will be placed on our cardboard in reverse so that it will print correctly as seen in the picture here. Once you have your symbol drawn, then you're going to cut it out and peel back that paper and stick it on the cardboard. We're ready to move on to step 4, prepare your paper. You're going to select 2 or 3 different colors of construction paper. These should add further depth and meaning to your overall message. So we want to create 4 lines that go straight down from one edge of the paper to the other, and we want to do that all the way around. I like to put a sheet of paper underneath the paper that I'm working on so that I don't get black Sharpie all over my desk. So you're going to hold your paper steady and just draw those lines. Now you could try drawing just a single line. I like to get mine a little bit wider, so I do it a second time right next to my first line so that I get a good wide line. And anything that gets missed, if there's a little gap in between, I just fill that in as I go along. So I've got my first line. Now I'm going to draw my second line. And you'll notice when I draw these straight lines, they are not perfect. Absolutely not perfect. One of the tricks to getting a nice straight line is to move your shoulder. I am not keeping my hand firmly in place. I am dragging my hand. That means that up further on my arm, my shoulder is moving back, and I am actually physically moving back in my chair as I do this. So that it's not just a matter of holding the pen and drawing like this. I am holding the pen and pulling my hand, and my whole arm and my whole body is getting into it and creating that straight line. Now that I have all of my paper prepared, I'm ready to move on to step 6, which is printing with my stamps. I want to choose the best color ink to use for each of my stamps. And again, the color of each stamp should contribute to the depth and meaning of my Adinkra banner. So I want to carefully print with my stamps to fill the interior of each paper. And I want to do the best to fill that space and keep my prints neat and orderly. Before I begin printing with my stamp on my good paper, I want to practice first on a scrap piece of paper. I want to practice getting enough ink on my stamp and pressing firmly enough and in all the different areas to get that stamp to print properly. I also want to practice lining it up so that it is straight and even, so that when I do print on my good paper, everything looks well thought out and well planned. Well, that's stamped pretty well. When I've finished printing all of my pages, I'm going to glue them end to end, overlapping just a little bit. And then I'm going to use coordinating color of yarn to attach the yarn at the top so that I can hang my Adinkra paper.